Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Friday, June the 27th, 2025. Welcome back to my Flosstube channel. If you're new, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about all the cross stitch. And if you're new, no, not if you're new. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for all the love and follows and comments and all that. If you are new and you came from my whip parade, hi. Thanks for being a subscriber now. Yeah, filmed a 3-part whip parade in case you missed it. I don't know how you could though. Total of almost 7 hours of me talking about my cross stitch. That was a lot. That was a lot, but that's okay. I enjoyed it. I was tired at the end. But I enjoyed it. It was nice seeing all the whips again. So, forgot my board. So I didn't get as much, didn't get as much stitching done as I would have liked to this week. Okay. Working like 10-hour days in the clinic. It's like 5 days a week. And I missed, I didn't stitch on Friday because I didn't get home until probably close to 8 o'clock on Friday because we were really busy. And then I had to film my Flosstube. And by the time I got done and everything, I was tired and I had to work in the ER on Saturday, so I didn't stitch. Saturday, I was supposed to work 12 hours, but we were actually not very busy, so they let me go home at 1. And I thought, hey, since I got out early, this would be a great time to film a whip parade. So I did. Got everything sorted, got everything organized, started filming. Took me basically the rest of the night. I didn't get done filming till after 11 and had to get stuff put away and all that. So I didn't get to bed till almost 1 o'clock. I didn't stitch that day either. So I got 2 days of no stitching, which is highly unusual for me. But here's what I did get done. Pathetic a little bit. But I mean, considering I only stitched Sunday through Thursday, not too bad. I didn't get to complete all the stitches for the sewing desk, so it's going to stay out so I can get that finished off. I didn't do either one of the other Monopoly pieces. I did get my goal done for Goodnight Bears. So that's done. And we will announce the Whip of Shame winner for July. So I feel like this might be a little bit of a shorter video because I don't have a lot to show this time. And we're not doing a new round of Monopoly. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Actually, let me show you my Whip of Shame first. So if you are new, my Whip of Shame, basically, my Whips of Shame are all of my really old kits. If you hear noises in the background, it's my kids. They're back again. My Whip of Shame is my really old projects that are like over 10 years old. And you guys vote on one for me to work on every month. So y'all have had 2 weeks to vote. Voting's closed now because I'm filming. And I'll show you the winner for July at the end of the video. So this month, my Whip of Shame is Goodnight Bears. It is a kit by Designs for the Needle. Artwork is by Fiona Jude, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm going to show you the beginning of the month photo. So my goal is to get 100 stitches a day for the month that it is being worked on. So for June, I wanted to get 3,000 stitches. And this is where I got to with it. So I got all of the window filled in except for the holes that you see are for metallic. They don't give you a lot of metallic to work with, so I'm going to wait to do the metallic. I normally will be okay with doing metallic as I go, but with this metallic, I'm just gonna wait until I have all of the window done and I'll just do it all at once. But I got all of the window filled in with the blue. I got the frame, I mean, this needs to be filled in right here, but I got the frame going up and then over and down is all stitched in. I filled in his arm. I started getting his foot outlined. I got the little spinner top and the ball stitched. So yeah, I made some really decent progress. So whenever this gets pulled again, my plan right now is to get his foot filled in and start filling this in and kind of, because there's going to be a little block like A, B, there's a C over here somewhere, and this is D. But there is back stitching that goes in all of this. So I think what I might do is try to work on getting maybe from here over stitched, and then at least get, because it's like back stitching here and then some around here, but at least get like from that part over stitched. That way I can get him completely back stitched and the stuff over here and that part. But that's like future. That's in the future. Not right now. But, ooh, did you hear that thunder? Typical Florida, raining every afternoon. Although the past like week or two, it's actually been raining overnight. It's very strange. But yeah, so got my goal done, 3,000 stitches. So that's exciting. Next up, let's do one of my wheel spins. Oh, this is actually the first one I got to spin. So this one, okay, real quick, if you are new, what I did, well, I think I explained it in my whip parade. I divided all my whips into different categories. And so I have I picked 2 projects for each category. And then what I'm doing is I'm spinning my Tiny Decisions wheel app on my phone, and it selects the category that I'm going to work on. And then I pick which one of those 2 whips that I'm going to work on. So first thing I spun was large kits, and I decided to work on Ocean ABC. This is a kit from Designworks. Artwork is by Krista Hamrick. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And oh yeah, so I'm using, I was trying to think of what I did on it before I pulled it out. I'm using everything that came in the kit. So it's a 14 count white Aida, and I was able to get 600 stitches on it, and this is where I'm at with it now. So I completely, oh my God, what am I trying to say? I completed the G block for goals, G for goals. So I got that block completed. So if you have not seen this before, with stuff like this, I like to get the block in its entirety done before I move on to the next one, so that I don't have to go back and do back stitching. It's done already. So G is done, and I decided to come down and do M for mermaid. So the mermaid is basically, she's pretty big actually. Right here, she's pretty decent size, but I decided to do her. So next time this comes out, I will keep working. This is her tail. I'll just kind of keep working it over. So, yay, that's exciting. I was happy to get that block done. Not because I was like tired of it. I was just like, yeah, you got a block done. So. All right, so there's that one. And then my other wheel spin, I only got to spin the wheel twice this week. So I didn't start stitching until Sunday. And I said, screw it, I'm doing some wheel spins because I really wanted to do them, right? Because I got all excited about being able to spin a wheel and then pick a project. And I've hardly gotten to do it. I'm like so frustrated with that. But so Sunday I ended up doing 2 wheel spins, which is the 2 I'm showing you. And then I was just like catching up on Whip of Shame so I could get it done before this video. I had to work on Honeymoon Sunset. I had to catch up on my marathon stitching on Catching Rays, and last night I did a little bit on one of the Monopoly whips, and that was all I did. So this was my other wheel spin. I spend non-full coverage. So the non-full coverage is basically any projects that don't really fit into one of the categories I have listed. So this is Hive Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and it is designed by Lindsay Waite. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm doing it with the Call for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count white Jobelin. And I think what I'll do is I'll just fold this fabric in half. So I think because this only took up, I'm going to show you the blank half. It only took up this much space, but on the other side, of course. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4th of July rules on this side, on this part, because I have that one. I just haven't started it. Okay, so anyway, here's the photo. And I got 500 stitches on it. I probably should have done this part first and then showed you the whole thing, because I think my before photo is just this. So this is where I got to with it. Got 500 stitches get you pretty far on these patterns, honestly. So I need to do the E, fill this in. There's actually a little bit of back stitching of this honeycomb pattern right here. What else? Finish these 3 beehive house things, and there's 2 stitches, one on either end of the bee. A stitch right there, I think, in another color. Finish this bee here. And then that section will be done and I can move on to the next. So I am currently in this part right there. So I'll go ahead and show the whole thing. So here's the top. Here we go. Hive rules: be sweet like honey, mind your own beeswax, always be humble and kind. That's all I have so far. I mean, it's a lot, but there's still basically 2 more phrases after that is done. So believe in yourself and others. And the last one is love and be loved. So yeah, I got 500 stitches on that one. All right. Let's do the Monopoly stitching I was able to do. Not a whole lot, but yeah, not a whole lot, but that's okay. The Monopoly stitching I did do was on the sewing desk, and this is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's regular size, regular color. Artwork is by Amy Stewart. It's 525 by 375 and has 87 colors. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm kind of working all over the place. Like I started in the middle, worked my way up. I've been trying to work my way over this way because I wanted to get to that. I wanted to get to this bear. I'm doing it 2/1 half cross tent stitch, whatever you want, on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And sometimes when I'm watching Flosstube, it goes quiet because they're like trying to sort their stuff out, and I look up because I'll be stitching when I'm watching it. I'll look up thinking my screen froze or something. It's like, no, they're just trying to get their stuff together. They're trying to get their life right. So I'll show you where I worked and then I'll pull back to show the whole thing. Okay, here we go. This is where I got to. So I did 200 stitches on it in this diagonal here, and starting to hit that ear. in that bear, so that's cool. And let me go ahead and pull back so I can show you the whole thing. There we go. See what I mean? That's why I was like showing you where I worked first, because it's kind of like all over. I don't know what that noise is. I think one of my kids is playing a game. So I currently have 10,895 stitches completed out of 196,875. I am at 5.53%. So I need to finish the other 200 stitches for Monopoly, and then I will have hit 11,000 stitches on this. So that's cool. Yeah. All right. Next up, my marathon stitching. So if you don't know, Andrew the Runner Stitcher is doing, he's training for a marathon. He just announced, I don't know why I thought it was the Chicago Marathon. He just announced in his most recent video where the marathon is. He said he wanted to wait. I am so excited for him. I'm going to link his channel down below. But he's training for a marathon. Super duper exciting. I'm going to go ahead and say it. He's going to Australia. What? The Sydney Marathon, I think. So anyway, he's training for a marathon. It's going to be at the end of August. And so what he did is he's doing a hashtag whip into shape, where you pick a project, and he has a whole spreadsheet where he posts his miles that he runs every day. And you do 10 stitches for every mile that he runs. And now we're kind of like getting to that halfway mark where he's really ramping up his, almost said his stitching, his running on the weekends. So, yeah, I'm actually a little ahead of the game. I didn't realize that I went a little over. So, but yeah, you do 10 miles or 10 stitches for every mile that he runs. And I got, oh, I should probably tell you what I'm working on, right? So my whip into shape piece is Catching Rays. This is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is 1200 by 900, and it has 134 colors. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. This is my million stitch project. So it's got 1,080,000 stitches in it. There are projects that are bigger, I know, but this is my biggest one. And I did the math. It's doable to complete in 20 years, right? But if I was like, what if I did like 500 stitches a day? It's not going to happen, because I would get so sick of it, because I would basically have to be monogamous. But if I did like 500 stitches a day from my point that I'm at right now, I want to say that I could get it done in like 5 years. It's not going to happen though. Anyway, I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a 32 count, easy count Lugana. And, oh God, that's my kid's game. I may have to pause and tell him to turn the volume down. Okay, and this is where I got to with it. So this week I got 395 stitches. I think I'm about 45 stitches over from where, like, my stopping point on Thursday. I think I ended up being like 45 stitches over. I don't know. I'm going to look at his total and see how much my total is and see what the difference is. But yeah, so I'm working on this in 2 diagonals, starting from the upper left-hand corner. And I am currently sitting, and this one over here is when I use it for Monopoly. So this is my marathon stitching. I've actually, when I started doing it, I was actually up here in the diagonal. So I've completed all of this just working on it for his marathon training. And then as this diagonal finishes, I'll just keep filling this in until the training is over. But so far I have 30,566 stitches completed out of 1,080,000. and I am at 2.83%. That's everything I have so far. So these 2 pages are done, and this one is not done, but that's okay. It's almost done, but it's not quite done. Look at that palm tree. But yeah, really enjoying it so far. It's nice having it out as like where you work on it a little bit every day. I would love to kind of keep doing that, but there's no way that I would have a 20-year completion if I worked on it the way that I'm working on it right now. I think I'm gonna have to ramp up stitching on that one a little bit. Okay. Final whip already. 20 minutes in, I'm on my last whip. Final whip is my focus piece for the year. This is Honeymoon Sunset. It is charted by Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. Love his artwork. It's $8.69 by $6.49. It has 133 colors, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. My goal is to get this to 50% by the end of the year, so I need to increase it, basically increase it by 1% every month. So my goal for the month of June was to get it to 44%, which I did. Okay, so I should have the before photo up already. I'm doing it with call for DMC 2/1 half tent stitch, half cross, whatever, on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And this is where I got to with it. So I got pretty much all this filled in right here. And let me show you something really exciting. You see this right here? This is the wet sand from the ocean coming up onto the shore. I feel like I should have said something more somber with those freaking bells in the background. But yeah, this is where I got to with it. I got 900 stitches completed this week. Oh my dear God. I am at I'm pretty sure you guys can hear that. 248,171 stitches completed out of 563,981. I am at 44.0%. So I'm just, I didn't even show you where I was working. So I'm just gonna keep working my way up the diagonal here. I think I said I was working on this in 2 diagonals. If I didn't, I know I put my little meme up. But I'll just keep working my way up the diagonal there. And I think I was saying that this diagonal that I'm working on, I want to say that the bird bath might be coming in right around here somewhere. So we're going to start seeing some more fun stuff. Yay! That's exciting. Work on getting the lighthouse more. I want to say that the house might get completely done with this diagonal, maybe. So I'll show the whole thing in next month's Flosstube. Like the first, I think I'm going to show the whole thing. I think what I'll do with this, just because it's like a lot, I have to back the chair up, I have to hold it up, then I got to bring it up, and blah, blah, blah. So I will show the whole thing like all opened up at the beginning of every month. Yeah. And then throughout the month, I'll just show you where I worked. So my goal for July for this will be to get it to 45%. 45, July, 46, August, 47, September, 48, October, 49, November, 40, 50, okay. Doing some last minute math, a little late for that now, isn't it, Jen? Okay. Okay, so that's all of my whips. Let's go ahead and get these boards updated real quick. Okay, so we'll update this one first. All right. we'll update this one. On here, I need to update Goodnight Bears. I don't know why I put 8:55. That should have been, it should have been 8:75. So we're gonna erase this. But I had 2,125 stitches completed. I did another 875 this week. So I got to 3,000. And my goal, very bad handwriting, but my goal is done. And then catching rays, I had, for the marathon stitching, I had 1,901. I did another 395, bringing this total to, hang on, 2,296. And then we'll go ahead and update the little bit of stitching I did do for the sewing desk for Monopoly. It's right here. I had 1,000 stitches. I did 200, so this is going up to 1,200. And my goal is dropping from 3,000 down to 2,800. So that's all I did for Monopoly this week. Okay, then Ocean ABC is on my old temperature whip board, and down here I had number 7. I had 600. I did another 600, so this is going up to 1,200. And my goal is dropping from 1,400 down to 800. So there's that. And then the final board I worked on High Rules, which is right here. I had 2,000 stitches. I did another 500, so this is going up to 2,500. And my goal is dropping from 2,000 down to 1,500. And then down here on Honeymoon Sunset, I had 35,000 since my whip parade at the end of the year last year. I had 35,360 stitches. I did another 900. So this is going up to 36,260. And my goal is dropping from 34,720 down to 33,820. And my percent complete is going from 43.84%. I get to erase the whole thing, to 44.00%. 44.0% exactly. I was just like trying to think, I'm like, did I actually say my percent when I was showing the whip? I think I did. But yeah, hit 44% exactly. So even though I hit my goal, I feel like I'm behind, because I usually am at like that percent for the month, 0.5 or higher, and now I'm at 0.0. So hopefully I'll be able to get some additional stitching so I can bump it back up, give myself a little bit of a cushion, because it's like 5,600 stitches for 1%, and that is not going to hit 45% if I do 1,000 stitches or less every week in the month of July. So I'm definitely gonna have to ramp up my stitching a little bit and maybe push to get like maybe 1,500 or 2,000 stitches a week so I can get ahead of the game again. So that's, oh, like I wasn't going to end the video. I just had stuff to talk about. I wasn't going to say that's it. Thanks for watching. Like I have other stuff to talk about, but I just remembered I need to show you guys the whip of shame for the month of July. So you guys voted and I didn't even count them. It was between Riding the Wave, which is the horses, or Magnificent Wizard, which was the wizard and dragon. Magnificent Wizard had 32. Riding the Wave had 94. You guys really want to see these horses. So, this will be my whip of shame for the month of July. It's a chart from Creative Accents, or a kit from Creative Accents. Artwork is by Jim Warren. And I will show you my starting point. I'm using everything that came in the kit. It is a 16 count Dove Gray Ada. And this is my starting point with it. No idea where I'm going to go with it. I do have a working copy printed, or a working copy of the pattern. So I think what I might do, like you're not going to be able to tell anything from the pattern, but I might try to just work on filling that page in. So at least maybe this will be done. But yeah. That's my starting point. Ooh, it's all folded up with lines because I don't iron. You can kind of see the horse's face coming in right here. So this will get about 100 stitches a day for the month of July for an end goal of 30, how many days are in July? 3,100 stitches. Okay, let's see. Let's talk plans and future changes of plans. Oh my God, what's happening? Hang on. Let's figure out how to close a bag. Okay, so let's talk plans and future changes of plans. Okay, so what I thought, y'all let me know what you think of this idea. If you want to, I'm gonna do it anyway. So, I guess in this particular case, your opinion doesn't matter because I'm gonna do it anyway. But you can go ahead and tell me your thoughts. Unless you hate it and then just keep your thoughts to yourself. But I was, as I was filming my whip parade, and I was going through, like, I was kind of lamenting about how I don't get to work on stuff as often because of, various reasons, right? But when I did the whip of shame category and I was showing that, and I was going through how many stitches each one had and blah, 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 I was realizing, like, I have only shown you what I've worked on in 2025, right? Like, said how much progress, I should say, how much progress stuff's had in 2025. But as I was showing the whips, I was realizing that there are some whips that have been picked as a whip of shame multiple times, and there are some that have not been picked at all. Looking at you, Gift of the Eagle Feather, my Indian piece with all the reds and oranges. So I was chatting with Alara, and I was telling her, I said, I wanted to try, excuse me. So she said, well, why don't you just not let them get picked until most of the stuff has been picked? I said, well, my grand solution for that was to not have it in the running for like 4 months after it got selected. So like, Goodnight Bears was the whip of shame for the month of June. July, August, September, October, it would not be eligible to even be voted for until November. And yet I still have pieces that have been picked twice, at least 2 of them. Well, actually now 3, because Riding the Wave was a whip of shame last year. But it was going up against a whip of shame that has already been worked on twice, and this would have been the 3rd time it had been worked on. So I said, well, what about this? Because I do kind of miss the temperature stitching, but I'm already doing a daily piece with the whip of shame. So what if I combine the 2? And I did temperature stitching with the whips of shame, where I have not 10, but I picked, well, we'll do another voting video. We picked 5 whips of shame. I said I can't start it until August because everybody's been voting and I don't want them to feel like their votes don't count. This isn't the US election. I didn't want y'all to think that your votes didn't count or anything. And so I said I won't start this until August, but I'll probably post the voting video sometime in the next week or 2. Like not this weekend. Maybe either next weekend or enough time for you guys to vote. And but we'll have 5 whips of shame, and I will cut the goal down to 2,000 stitches, because not gonna lie, doing 3,000 on these things, that lasts about 500-600 stitches. I am really I'm doing it just to say I met the goal. I'm really over those projects by that point. So I'm going to cut the goal down to 2,000 stitches, but the 5 projects will each have 2 temperature numbers assigned to them. There's a few people that do the 5 projects. I think Andrew has 3 whips that he does. And then Jessie Marie and Stitching Mommy both do 5 projects with 2 numbers assigned to them. And it's not going to be I wanted to do something where it was 0 and 5, and then 1 and 6, and then 2, because sometimes I feel depending on the time of the year, the numbers the temperature doesn't come up as often with that number. So if you're unfamiliar with the temperature stuff, it started with, it's not like a temperature sow, right? It started with Siski. She had the idea of doing a whip for every temperature number. And I was watching her video. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a good idea. And every day she would look to see what the temperature was. She would do 100 stitches on that whip. And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. But I'm in Central Florida. It usually is anywhere from 70 to 100 billion degrees. So it would be silly to have whips for anything, basically anything, honestly, anything under 60 degrees. It would be a little silly. Because if you go off of the high of the day, usually even in the middle of winter, a lot of the times the high is usually at least in the 60s. So I was like, what if I did 10 whips and I did 0 through 9 and did the second digit of the temperature? So if it was 87 degrees, then the project assigned to number 7 would get 100 stitches. And apparently that really took off, and a lot of people did it. And right when everybody was getting on the bandwagon, I was like, I'm gonna stop my temperature stitching. Oh man. Right when it becomes a thing, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it anymore. So, but I want to get back on the wagon. So, I think I'm going to do that starting in August. I'll do a voting video and have you guys pick. I'm only going to have you guys pick a few, because there's one whip in particular that I definitely want to have as a temperature piece, because I think it would push it is not a whole lot of latte. Before you even think it, for those who know my whips, it is not a whole lot of latte. But there is one in particular that I think the 2,000 goal would get it close to a finish, to where I could put it in the finish the shit category. So I definitely want to have that one on the list. And then I think I'll probably have you guys vote for the other ones. And I think 2,000 would be a good goal because 1,000 seems like really quick, especially if it's assigned to 2 numbers. 3,000 will just be too much. 2,000 I think would be a good amount to where I would have enough kind of advance notice to where I would know, hey, let's pull out 2 whips for you guys to vote on to be a replacement. So that's one thing that's going to be changing in the next month. And the category spinning thing, that's staying the same. Monopoly, I'm slowing down on. Of course, right after I've seen 2 people say that they want to start stitching with me for Monopoly, that's when I'm like, I think I'm going to slow down on the Monopoly. Only because like, it's just, I want to, and I'm slowing it down right now because I want to try to sit. I feel like a lot of my stitching is devoted to the Monopoly. I'm going to turn around and flip the script and copy Alara for a change. She always copies me because she wants to be just like me. But she can't. She decided when because she does Monopoly too. I'm going to link her channel below if you haven't checked her out before, but she does a crazy Monopoly game. It's insane, literally insane Stitchopoly, I think she calls it. But she decided to start working on her stuff where she did, where she'll do 1 day of focus stitching and 1 day of Monopoly, and then 1 day of focus stitching and 1 day of Monopoly. And I kind of like that idea a lot. And so I think I'll probably start doing that where like if I have time to stitch tonight, then I'll do like a focus stitching, right? And I'll work on one of a wheel spin. But I do want to get at least 500 stitches. So if I can't get all of it done, then I will hold it for the next focus stitching day. And then like a Saturday, whatever I can work on, I'll work on like a Monopoly piece. But I think what I'll do is regarding Monopoly, is I'll work on 1 Monopoly piece. I'm not going to spend the whole day doing Monopoly. So I'll work on 1 Monopoly piece and then I'll spend the rest of the day like working on the focus, on the wheel spins. So then Sunday is usually the day I work on Honeymoon Sunset. So that will not change. And I'll just kind of keep going back and forth like that. So maybe that'll kind of get me back into the Monopoly stitching. Because if I can do that, then there's a good chance that I might be able to do a new Monopoly round next week, which is usually every 2 weeks is what I've been doing right now. So hopefully I'll get back on track. And then we'll definitely continue Monopoly through July and August. And then in September, I would like to hold off on all of this stuff and try to get some projects started, like started all September. I don't know if I won't necessarily do a new project every day because I will still be working on Honeymoon Sunset and the temperature stitching will have gone into effect at that point. So I would still keep those going for sure. And I may have like maybe 1 or 2 normal whips that I keep out in case I don't feel like doing a new start. But I wanted to try to get some starts done in September to add to the chaos. There are some projects that I really would like to start, so I'll start those in September. And then October is my birthday month, and I'll be doing a new start with Veronica. But I'll go more into that later. We're doing a Maya Stitch pattern. The Night Stitch is who I'm doing a new start with because her birthday's in October too. And I'll link her channel down below as well. So Veronica from Night Stitch, she is going to, we both really like Maya Stitch on Etsy. And so she has a new, a pattern and I have a pattern. It's not the same pattern. She's doing a different Maya Stitch pattern. But we're going to do a new start together for my birthday and her birthday. We're going to do it at the beginning of the month, beginning of October. Because her birthday is at the beginning of the month and mine's at the end of the month. I think it was the beginning of October, we said. And then I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. As my goals get completed on these things, I will just pull new replacements off of my current list so that we can try to start paring this down. And then once that's done, once I've exhausted all of the whips on my current goals for that category, then I'll start getting into my bins of despair. That's what we're going to call it now, the bins of despair, like the pit of despair that are in my closet, which is why I keep pointing at the wall. So that was a lot of talking, considering I finished like 15 minutes ago talking about the actual whips and stuff. Life update. My son Peyton turns 15 tomorrow. He's so excited because that means he gets his learner's permit. So in Florida, you can get a learner's permit to drive at the age of 15. So we were getting everything, like all our paperwork and everything sorted. And I had taken the day off on July the 1st to take him to go get his permit. And then he texted me this past week and he said, "You have to take me on Monday." I was like, "No, I don't. I'm taking you on Tuesday." He said, "There's a law that goes into effect on July 1st that if you do not have your permit before then you have to take driver's ed," which driver's ed isn't a bad thing. I am not knocking that. But it's a 10 to 12 week course and you have to take that before you get your permit. And I'm like, this is silly. How are you able to take driver's education without having to drive a vehicle? Because when I took driver's ed, that was part of the course. But apparently now driver's ed is just a course that you take and you don't have to have a license because you're not getting behind the wheel of a car. I'm like, that sounds kind of shady, but okay. So anyway, now his father is going to take off Monday and he is going to take him to get his permit. I'm keeping Tuesday off because he has a doctor's appointment that day anyway. So I'm keeping Tuesday off. But so I told him on Tuesday, I don't know if we'll do it before or after the appointment, but I told him on Tuesday if he wants, we can like go somewhere to practice driving. He's very excited. So for his birthday, we're going to go to K-Pot. It is a Korean, all-you-can-eat Korean hot pot and barbecue restaurant. So you like cook the food yourself at the table, kind of like the melting pot with the fondue, but it's like Korean barbecue instead. It's really good. The boys love it. So, and we don't go very often because it's usually over $100 when the three of us go. So, but you know, it's a birthday, so it's a special dinner. So I told him we could go. And then we're going to go see my mom on Sunday. Pretty sure. Or she's going to come over here and we'll go to lunch or something. I have no idea. We haven't worked that out yet. But we're going to see my mom on Sunday. And I think I took the weekend off for his birthday from the ER. So I'm not working Saturday or Sunday. And then I'm off on Tuesday. And then I'm off again next Friday for 4th of July. And then I'm working on Saturday, the 5th. But yeah, it's going to be weird. Like not working Saturday or Sunday and then off Tuesday and then off Friday. So strange. But I think that's about it regarding life. Nothing much. So same old, except for Peyton getting his learner's permit. So I think that is about all. My next Flosstube will be on the 4th of July, but I am going to go ahead and say, as a nurse, please, for the love of God, on the 4th of July, if you're in America or if you decide to celebrate with the Americans, please be careful. Please do not drink and shoot off fireworks at the same time. Save your hands, save your face, save your vehicles, your house. Please dispose of your fireworks properly. Please don't start any fires. Please. Been in the medical field for 20 years. with the majority of that being in the emergency room. And yeah, don't drink and shoot fireworks at the same time. It does not end well. You will lose that battle against a firework. Okay, I think that's all. So take care, stay safe, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.